Good afternoon. The next is Unit 4 Peripheral Support in PEAK 18F. So a number of read word system like washing machine, ATM system, rain machine and mobile need the keypad or display to enable a human machine interaction. Uh, So a large number of electrical engineering applications are based on microcontroller unit. So first is the timer. So what is timer? So the timer means what? Timer is a circuit to let a software have the knowledge of flow of time. So it is composed of a clock source, means usually the system clock or an external signal. Also a programmable frequency divisor, which is called a prescaler to divide the clock source frequency if needed. Some SFR special function registers which hold 8, 16, 32 bit value which is incremented in hardware using the clock source, and some SFR which gives some state information, for example overflow. So PIC 18F family has 7 timers called as timer 0, timer 1, timer 5 and timer 6. Timer 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So PIC 18 family has this timer, and each timer has different characteristic and may be used together with the other peripherals. So timer PIC 18. So PIC 18 family has PIC 18 microcontroller has a programmable timer. Actually PIC 18 F452 timer microcontroller has 4 programmable timer, which can be used in many tasks such as generating timing signal, causing interrupt to be generated at specific time interval, measuring the frequency and time intervals, and so on. So first is the timer 0. So timer 0 is similar to the PIC 16 series timer 0, except that it can operate either in 8-bit or in 16-bit mode. So timer 0 has the basic features such as 8-bit or 16-bit operation, 8-bit programmable prescaler, external or internal clock source interrupt generation, and all overflow. So timer 0 control register is T0 COM, and the lowest 6 bits of this register have a similar functions to the PIC 16 series option register. So the top two 16 bits are used to select the 8 bits or 16 bit mode of operation and to enable or disable the timer. So the timer 0 can be operated either as timer or as counter, and the timer mode is selected by clearing the T0 CS bit, and in this mode the clock to the timer is derived from F oscillator by 4, and the counter mode is selected by setting the T0 CS bit, and in this mode the timer 0 is incremented on the rising or falling edge of the input. So the bit T0 called selects the edge triggering mode. So timer 0 is 8 or 16 bit timer counter. The figure shows the 8 bit mode. Also the timer 0 is the SFR containing the value that is incremented. All the parts to the left are the clock source circuit. Timer 0 control register is used to program the timer, and it includes the bits which is shown here. So this diagram shows the bit 16. This is timer 0, 8-bit mode. So here load timer register is timer 0L, and the enable timer 0 interrupts. The timer counts up and interrupt is generated when timer value overflow from FFH to 00H in 8-bit mode. So by loading a value into timer 0 register, we can control the count until an overflow occurs. The formula that follows can be used to calculate the time it will take for the timer to overflow given the oscillator period, the value loaded into the timer and prescaler value. Then the next is timer, the 16-bit version of the timer 0. So 16-bit mode, the timer 0 in 16-bit mode, it's shown in this diagram. Here two timer registers, which is named as timer 0L and timer 0H, that is high bits byte are used to store the 16-bit timer value. Then the low byte timer 0L is directly loadable from the database, and the high byte timer 0 can be loaded through a buffer called timer 0H. So during a read of timer 0L, the high byte of the timer is also loaded into timer 0H, and thus all 16 bits of the timer value can be read. To read the 16-bit timer value, first we have to read the timer 0 low value and then read timer 0 high value in later instruction. Similarly, during a write to timer 0 low value, the high byte of the timer is also updated with the contents of timer 0H, allowing all 16 bits to be returned to the timer. Thus, to write to the timer, the program should first write the required high byte to timer 0H. Hence, when the low byte is returned to timer 0L, then the value stored in timer 0H is automatically transferred to timer 0, and which causes all 16 bits to be returned to the timer. So this diagram also shows the timer 0 control SFR, which include all bits which control the timer 0 function. This is 16-bit version of timer 0. Then the next is timers and its programming. So PIC 18 has 2 to 5 timers depending on the family number. So as the family number varies, the timer number also varies. As we have seen that PIC 18 F452 microcontroller has 4 programmable timers. These timers can be used as a timers to generate a time delay, and it is also used as a counters to count the events happening outside the microcontroller. So first is the programming timers 0 and 1. So every timer need a clock pulse to tick. Then clock source can be internal or external. So 1/4 of the frequency of the crystal oscillator on oscillator 1 and 2 pins is fed into the timer, and external pulses are fed through one of the PIC 18 pins counter, and the timers are 16-bit wide, and it can be accessed as a two separate register. So each timer has TCON, that is timer control register. The clock source can be internal or external. If it is internal, then one-fourth of the frequency of the crystal oscillator on oscillator 1 and oscillator 2 pins. And if it is external, then pulses are fed through one of the peak 18 pins to the counter. So this diagram shows the timer 0 register and reprogramming. Now timer 0 register, it has a timer 0 H and timer 0 L. Timer 0 L and timer 0 H are 8 bit register. So move WF timer 0 L, move FF timer 0 L port B. These are the examples. Then timer 0 1 F flag bit. So the importance of this flag bit is in 16-bit mode, when timer 0H and timer 0 low overflow from FFFF to 000S, then this flag is raised. And in 8 bit, if it is raised when the timer 0 goes from FF to 00. In 16 bit, it is raised when it goes from FF to 0000, and for 8 bit it is raised when it goes from FF to 00. So we monitor this flag bit before we reload the timer 0H and L register. So this is interrupt control register which has timer flag. So timer 1 is 16-bit timer which is controlled by the register timer 1 call. So timer 1 can be operated as either a timer or counter. Now when bit timer 1 CS of register timer 1 call is low, then clock frequency is selected for the timer. And when timer 1 CS is high, then the module operates as a counter clock from the input. A crystal oscillator circuit enabled from the bit timer 1 oscillator enable and timer 1 is built between the pins timer 1 oscillator and 1 and oscillator 0, where crystal up to 200 kHz can be connected between these pins. Timer 1 can be configured so that read-write can be performed either in 16-bit mode or in two 8-bit modes. So bit RD16 of register timer 1 can control the modes. When RD16 is low, the timer read and write operations are performed as 8-bit operations. When RD16 is high, the timer read and write operations are as in timer 0 16-bit mode. Then there is a timer 2 also. It is an 8-bit timer with the features such as 8-bit timer, 8-bit period register, programmable prescaler, programmable post scaler. So interrupt when timer 2 matches the period register 2. Timer 2 can be used for the PWM mode for the CCP module. The CCP module we'll see in the next lecture. What is that CCP module? So it can be used for the PWM mode of the CCP module. The output of timer 2 can be a software selected by SSP module as a baud clock. So timer 2 increments from 00H until it matches the PR2, that is a period register 2, and sets the interrupt flag. Then timer 3. So the structure and operation of timer 3 is same as that of the timer 1. And this timer is controlled from the register T3 con. Then the next is interrupt structure in PIC 18F. So whenever any device needs a microcontroller service, the device notifies it by sending an interrupt signal. Upon receiving an interrupt signal, the microcontroller stops whatever it is doing and serves the device. So the program associated with the interrupt is called ISR, that is interrupt service routine or interrupt handler, and each device can get the attention of microcontroller based on the priority assigned to it. It can ignore a device request for the service. There are two methods for communicating between the microcontroller and the external service. One is polling and other is interrupt. So what is polling? In this method, the microcontroller accesses the external device at the exact time interval and gets the required information. So the time period is determined by the user. In fact, we can say that when using the method polling, the processor must access the device itself and request the desired information that is needed to be processed. So the main drawback of writing program with this method is waste of time, and the micro needs to wait and review whether new information is arrived. And the next method is interrupt means what? Interrupt is a signal sent to the micro to mark the event which require immediate attention. And interrupt is asking the processor to stop to perform the current program and make time to execute a special code. So interrupt are the event which causes our program to stop what it is doing in order to run an interrupt service routine which will handle the event by taking whatever action is required before finally returning control to your main program. So interrupt is an external input to the CPU. When an interrupt is detected by CPU, it completes the current instruction and store the address of the next instruction, possibly other key variables, and it jump to an interrupt service routine, that is ISR, whose address is determined by an interrupt vector. So many interrupts can be masked, that is disabled, by setting a bit in a control register in some processor. However, some interrupts are not maskable. Therefore, if interrupt is masked, then there is a possibility that it will not be detected, and therefore they are interrupt flags. There are also interrupt flags, bits in SFR, which are set whenever an associated interrupt occurs, and these records the fact that an interrupt has occurred even if the CPU is unable to respond to it. So interrupt has occurred but it not received the CPU response is called pending interrupt. Then this diagram shows the generic interrupt structure. Here this is a diagram recalling interrupt related points. So the PIC 18 interrupt architecture is basically divided into two mode of operation. One is legacy mode and second is priority mode. So what is legacy mode? Legacy or fixed interrupts refer to the interrupt that use older bus technologies. With this technology, interrupts are signaled by using one or more external pins that are wired out of band, that is separately. And priority mode is priority mode of interrupt structure allows each interrupt source to be assigned a high priority level or a low priority level. The high priority interrupt vector and the low is 00008H and high low priority is 00001H. So high priority interrupt events will interrupt any low priority interrupt that may be in progress. There are a set of SFR, that is special function register, which are used to control the interrupt operations, which are used to control the interrupt operations. So each interrupt source has 3 bits to control. These functions of the function of these bits is flag bit to indicate that an interrupt event occurred, enable bit that allow a program execution to branch to the interrupt vector address when the flag bit is set. So this is all about PIC 18F interrupt. The hardware interrupts are sent to a microcontroller by external hardware device. Some of the interrupts can be blocked or masking by an interrupt enable bit. So when the interrupt is blocked, the micro does not see the request for an interrupt, therefore it won't be available to execute it, and the blocked interrupt won't be executed till the blocks is removed. Thank you.